Chapter 2, Erawan. The silence of unity rippled through Erawan. It threaded through him, demanding attention, even as the world prepared for another death, another annihilation. He sat upon the falcon yaksha, his shoulders tense. Under him, the falcon was rock still, a gigantic bird perched on an earthy outcrop. An expanse of jungle spread out in front of him, a construct of soil illuminated by afternoon light, green clutched in a birthing storm. Leaves curled and withered, bark groaned and crackled, crumpling from the inside. Wind rustled, fierce and gusting, lifting seeds that poured out of trees, carrying them away in a promise of new growth. The sounds of destruction filled his ears, but Erawan sat motionless, aware only of the silence that occupied his heart. The silence was not his, not truly. It belonged to the falcon, but then he grinned, a tight, twisted smile. For weren't he and the yaksha part of the same being? There was no other sign of life in the immediate jungle. No birds, no squirrels, neither animals nor humans. For 2 months, he hadn't even seen any other yakshas except for his own falcon. Does had disappeared far from the habitat, and he had spent his time with only himself for company. He was still unaccustomed to the deathly quiet of loneliness. It was more marked now than ever before, with the full fury of the earth ridge imminent. He sank his fingers into the falcon's silvery feathers that, after all this time, still smelled like smoke. He and the falcon had burned together when they had separated into an earth rage. Erawan had forgotten it once. He would never forget again. That was silence, a memory he had repressed far too long, angry and vast and relentless. There was no forgiveness in what they'd done, no absolution. Shame formed a tight ball in his throat. It embossed a lasting image on his heart. The earth rage built like a long drawn out scream. The yaksha's silence remained. Erawan took a deep, shaky breath. All his instincts told him to nudge the yaksha, to leap into the air where it was safe, but he had not landed here of his own accord. They had been gliding in the open skies, and the falcon had brought him here to this outcrop. He knew it would not leave, not until it had shown him what it wanted. Erawan waited, embedded in the two visions of ecstasy. He and the falcon watched the storm come in their first vision. The ground trembled, tree trunks burst like overripe melons. Massive balloons of dust rose, racing towards them from all directions. In their second vision, within the infinite velvety darkness of the deepness, Erawan and the resonance fluttered around each other. The resonance was the falcon's form in the deepness. He would forever think of the silvery molten particle in those terms. The thing had haunted him for so long, but it was still familiar, more familiar than the creature whose feathers he clutched. What was it doing? Why was it waiting? In his first vision, Erawan gripped the falcon tighter and licked his lips. Under them, the jungle roiled, a deep tremor.